My name is Summer, and I'll be talking about the land waste and disposal epidemic that we're in, the causes and effects that this issue creates for us, and how we can move forward. So what is land waste? It's the contamination of land surfaces, like our trash, waste, garbage, everything that we throw out, leading to a range of adverse effects, which we'll get into. It's also known as municipal solid waste, not to be confused with municipal waste. Great band. What I mean when I say disposal epidemic, it's the methods that we use to dispose of our various wastes that have led us to the crisis that we're in. Every resident organization and human activity in the US generates some type of waste. Many different types of waste are generated, including municipal solid waste, hazardous, industrial, agricultural, animal, medical, radioactive, construction, demolition, extraction and mining, oil and gas production, fossil fuel combustion, and sewage. And I bestow the crown to the queen of land waste, which is the United States. I bet you're not surprised by that. So who does this affect? Everyone. Everyone is affected. The Earth, the globe, with USA leading the way in waste production. The inverse is Switzerland, Sweden, and Denmark being the most efficient at minimizing waste. And they are smaller countries, but that doesn't mean that we can't follow their lead and adopt their methods. So some risk factors are diseases from land, water, and air pollution from the accumulation of waste, climate change from greenhouse gas emissions, particularly from landfills, and these factors contribute to habitat loss. It's actually causing the biodiversity crisis that we're currently in. And the biodiversity crisis refers to the mass extinction of species, like plants, animals, fungi, you name it, which ultimately has a butterfly effect that will result in the end of humanity if these species go extinct. And there's no reviving an extinct species. Life is a delicate balance of symbiotic relationships on a web that we are all connected to. Landfill methane is a major contributor to the climate crisis. When organic waste decomposes in a landfill, it discharges harmful pollutants, one of which being methane gas. Which is a greenhouse gas that has more than 80 times the warming power of carbon dioxide in its first 20 years, which dramatically and immediately warms our climate. And these greenhouse gases trap heat in our atmosphere. And the heat is trapped because energy from the sun falls on our planet and normally gets reflected back as infrared radiation. But instead of escaping back out into space, this radiation gets absorbed by the molecules of the greenhouse gases, which then emit them in all directions across the Earth's atmosphere. And that warms up our Earth. Hence the term global warming and climate change being used interchangeably. So in this graph, empty CO2 refers to metric tons of carbon dioxide, and it's the unit of measurement being used here. So looking at this graph, we can see that in 2023, we reached over 34,500 metric tons of carbon dioxide emissions. And this graph is also sectioned off by types of emissions, but focusing on overall emissions, this is like pretty concerning to see. Compare that to 1960. It's about 6,700 metric tons. And then 23 years later, we're emitting over 27,500 metric tons of emissions more. That's a lot. We're all being affected by this. So climate is how much, on average, a type of weather will occur over a longer period. Climate change is how the characteristics of the weather that we experience in a certain place change. Mostly any weather event is influenced by climate change. The planet is getting hotter by these emissions that we discussed, meaning that some places will see drawn out seasons, while other places might experience like concentrated bursts of extreme weather, like hurricanes, floods, heat waves, drought, and wildfires, which are predicted to become more intense and frequent. Another effect of a warmer planet is the ice melting. The Arctic sea ice could disappear entirely. Greenland's and Antarctica's ice sheets could be de-established. That's what add more liquid to the ocean, which is one of the contributors to rising sea levels. Ice also reflects the sun's energy, so without it, more heat is absorbed by the ocean, and when water expands as it warms. This is known as thermal expansion, which is also causing the sea to rise. Warmer and more acidic waters also affects the environment that the wildlife rely on to live, which devastates those populations. If the temperatures continue to rise, this could also cause rainforests to die, which a lot of species would go extinct, like massive extinction. Reservoirs could also dry up and we'd lose clean drinking water. These events also cause droughts, which affect our crops and food sources, but they also cause flooding too. And this is just touching on the surface of the effects that climate change has. It's immensely important, and it's a driving force of climate change is from these greenhouse gas emissions from our waste disposal methods and way of life. So astronomers are also being affected in their studies from the greenhouse gas emissions. Like, go outside at night and look at the sky to see the effects of pollution. We can't view our skies like the same way. It's insane. We should be able to see a lot more stars in the sky than we do. Our planet is magical and we're destroying it completely. So I've talked a lot about emissions from landfills, but what is causing our landfills to be so full? Overconsumption. Oh, I think, yeah. Okay, there you go. I hope that helped. Overconsumption is a leading cause of landfills. With products being mass-produced and shipped out constantly and replaced and disposed of, our landfills are overflowing. And to the argument of, well, I'm just one person, my actions don't matter, it's the corporations that are actually at fault, not me. I say to you, you are half right. Corporations and big businesses are definitely major contributors, but your actions matter. Businesses supply what's demanded, and you sometimes have a choice, but you do have a voice. So just want to remind you. And we do need to take action. Reducing emissions is an issue of public and political will. We need to have a societal and lifestyle adjustment to address the issue. And some ways to start are with policy changes and incentivizing sustainable production and practices. For example, in Germany, a deposit is charged on certain types of beverage packaging, like glass or plastic bottles and cans, and customers pay the deposit on top of the purchase price. But when they return the empty packaging, they get the deposit back. Reverse vending machines in supermarkets accept the returned bottles and containers and then the packaging is recycled. There's also a lot of grocery stores there that encourage customers to bring their own containers to refill at the store instead of selling single-use packaging. So if you wanted to go get your favorite cereal or oatmeal or something, you can bring it, or oil, you can go and bring your bottle and refill it at the grocery store. So as a consumer, you have a voice. Become active in your community by talking to and educating others, going to protests, donating to conservation efforts, and more importantly, voting for policy changes. There's other small things that you can do that just add up, like staying informed, being aware of your consumption practices, supporting sustainable businesses when you can, reusing items or thrifting as much as possible, repairing the item instead of replacing, avoiding single-use items, again, please. There's multiple little ways that you can adjust your lifestyle for the crisis that we're in. And if you start, you'll influence your household, your friends, your neighbors, your community, your friends' community, and just the domino effect continues. And the time to act is now. Thank you. Our planet is beautiful, and climate change, biodiversity loss, habitat destruction, pollution, and human activity are all connected to land waste. And our planet literally deserves better. Thank you. Here's some of my sources. I'm not going to read them. Avoid single-use items.